Welcome to episode 170 of the Your Legions podcast. I love a nice round number, and we're going to continue on with the Cosmic Legion stuff this week, getting into the lore, so all the recent lore from Cosmic Legions. So if you want to get a little bit more insight on the story through the dulcet tones of our very own Mal, for the most part here today, this is what we have in store for you. So how are you boys? Mal, you ready for all the talking this week?
Oh, at the moment I am. After I've read for a bit, who knows? We shall see.
Yeah, most of my work this week will be after the podcast, I guess.
I have to just try not to rush, as I'm like getting, I've read so much, get through it. So.
And Rich, what's the crack with you?
I'm good. I got very confused then when you started talking about round numbers and then continuing. I was like, what, we're going to go to 180 next week and 190? What the hell's going on?
Continuing with Cosmic Legions.
Yeah. I said to you boys before we started, I'm extremely annoyed about having to wear a shirt at this point, but I've got as many buttons as possible open without, upsetting the viewers. Just try and keep cool.
Well, we're extremely happy you're wearing a shirt. So, there's two people, there's two people, and everyone that's watching this is really happy, and one person is not. So I think that's a fair trade-off. Yeah. Well, there was a little con in the US this week. We haven't really mentioned it in the pod so far because, we're in Europe and we can't go, and it's kind of difficult sometimes to keep up with all the cons. But it was quite a big one. The Karvar con, Brian Lynn and his wife Stacey, they launched a con this year, and it's kind of Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions focused. So, and apparently the second biggest Legions focus show. Well, I suppose, Legions Con is always going to be the number one there. And they had a nice attendance, all the people that we kind of know and from Legions Con, or a lot of the people, not everybody, but a lot of the people. And I think Travis from My Wife Is Going to Kill Me was running the Horseman booth. And there was some Horseman people there. I don't think Jeremy was able to make it, but there was some other Horseman people. So that's cool. We're not jealous. But we did want to give a shout out to a couple of things that came out of there. One is our friend Brett's Fodder Mart. He didn't even mention this to us, did he, in our chat?
Don't
beforehand?
remember him doing
Just
it.
kind of popped
He
up.
mentioned it to me, I think, when I was
did he?
messaging him about something, yeah.
Right, you're the special
That
one.
sounds like I'm showing off. I'm not showing off. I'm just saying he mentioned it.
He's probably trying to sell you something.
Yeah, he knows his market, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs you after I think he was quite successful.
Doesn't sound like it, does it? No.
And as you can see here, look at all those trays.
Look, how
with parts in
amazing is that?
Imagine just sorting that. Imagine your hands after all that popping and swapping. A bit easier in the heat at the moment, but still.
True.
Yeah, you want gloves or something, wouldn't you, to do all that?
So that was a very cool thing. You obviously need to have a lot of fodder, I think, to do this, like Brett has done, and to make it worth your own while. But it seems to have been very popular. He was very happy with how it went, so good on him.
Absolutely, fair play.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of the physical manifestation of what some people do on eBay. There is eBay sellers that do this. Like Joe Souter, I think, is one that's very well known. So this
there's somebody in the UK that does it now as well. They start piecing out stuff as well.
You described it a bit like being like Lego brick, didn't you? What's it called?
Bricklink, yeah.
Bricklink.
It was unofficial for years, but it was basically a big, huge database that was built by some IT guy from the Czech Republic back in the early 2000s. And it just became this massive, big marketplace for Lego pieces. And if you literally wanted to find a Lego piece, it would index you to the nearest store in the nearest country on the site that you could get it from, or you could put in an old set and it would be able to give you a whole list of the pieces that you needed, and then you could run it through the site and basically get a purchase list, and it would try and do it from the fewest number of sellers with the lowest shipping costs, that kind of thing. So very innovative thing, and I think that actually was bought in the last 5 years by Lego themselves. So it's become like all these things, when the when the mother company buys it, becomes a little bit less good
Yeah.
because they start to be more strict about what they want on it, and they, all that kind of stuff. And I do think there was some third party stuff on it that isn't allowed anymore.
They're going to clamp down on that straight away.
Yeah, and they also.
Did I tell you guys that I got a cease and desist from Lego years ago?
Yes, I think I remember that. But you can tell
Maybe
you can recount it there.
Yeah. I just bought a let's call it a Lego compatible set from AliExpress or a Chinese eBay seller or something. Decided I didn't want it a few years later, so put it up as Lego compatible on eBay, and got this cease and desist letter from Lego's lawyers
you
going,
the word
"You
Lego.
cannot use the word Lego." And it's like,
Right.
okay, right, I'll take that down. And so I had to describe it as like modular brick compatible or something. You know what I mean? It's just
Could
ridiculous.
you not just list it as LEGGO?
I could have done maybe, or a little asterisk in between the letters or something like people do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I suppose a massive company like that is very protective of their copyright. So
Absolutely. And the last thing they want is people realizing that you can get the same quality stuff pretty much for a quarter of the price.
So I'm not sure if Brett's Fodder Mart will turn up at Legion's Con this year. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But he might want to actually just enjoy Legion's Con instead of doing all this work, which I think is fair enough. But maybe in a future iteration, who knows? But very cool. And then this other thing was these two figures that were just on the kind of vendor booth table, and these were kind of presented as customs from the Four Horsemen, with the kind of suggestion that they were going to display some customs from the studio this year at Legion's Con. But I'm not buying it, guys.
Nope.
So these apparently were painted by Cameron and Sherry. And I think this is maybe like in previous years, a little hint towards the armory, a little pop it up. And maybe not even in this exact configuration being one of the pre-builds, but some of the pieces from the armory. So we might get a dwarf armory. So these are two dwarves with a lot of the new parts from the last year or two. New dwarf parts, also new. I think you see the evil Urzok armor there. So what do you guys think?
This is 100% the armory that they dropped a hint for. I'm willing to bet money on it. There's too much, they've done it before. That goblin head is painted a different green. The helmet's a different color to what it's been before. You've got a Fury Dwarf, all of it. This is 100% what the armory is going to be. And good, because it'd be a good armory.
Yeah. I'd love this, yeah. It is a way that they're getting the Fury character, the Fury clan, into the line these days, is through the armory. So, not surprised. Very nice paint job on those new boots, the dwarf boots. Looks cool with the gold.
Yes,
and I think that's kind of grey rather than silver. So, yeah, very nice. Here's crossing fingers, and there's the kind of patina almost paint job on this guy. Reminds me a bit of Demistros.
Oh, I hadn't spotted that. Oh,
yeah.
As somebody that has lots of seafaring creatures in my collection, then that's very good.
There you go. So a fish head is going on that, basically. What you're telling me.
I think it's a decent chance. I've got one or two heads that I need to find bodies for. So yeah.
And there's a lot of painting going on in the background here, and kind of customizing and getting ready for Legion's Con. It's very exciting. Nothing that we want to reveal just yet. We could reveal it. We don't want to yet. Too early.
I will just break people's hearts now and say it's extremely unlikely I'm doing a puzzle book again this year, because it takes so long to do, and I just don't have the time at the moment. So
okay, when did you
Treasure
start
the
last
ones from
one?
last year? Before now, and I started this one a couple of weeks ago, and I got halfway through one crossword and was like, "This will take me 3 hours." Nope.
Okay,
but we will. Don't worry though, people. If fans of my art, there will be some other stuff there.
Is there not a way you could just kind of slightly change up last year's one?
Potentially, I guess. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Maybe other members of the podcast might be willing to devote a few hours for you if you want to go that road.
Okay. We'll see how it goes then.
Mal is like, not me.
I haven't got any time to do anything like that.
Fair enough. Right. What we do have time for, though, is...
Before you
Cosmic
move on to that,
Legions.
John,
Oh.
sorry, I forgot to mention. Did you two get confused when you saw where CarverCon was? Because it said Newark. I
Yeah.
was like,
Newark,
and
Ohio.
it's Newark, Ohio. I was like, oh, okay, right, yeah.
I didn't even register.
Not by the
end.
end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got confused twice because I saw it weeks ago in Newark, and then I actually looked it up and said, there's a Newark in Ohio. And then I saw it again last weekend, and I was like, Newark? And then I suddenly, out of the back of my very old man brain, it came back to me. And I saw this OH or whatever they have for Ohio afterwards. Yeah.
But it looks a really great show. I think people seem to have loved it and just, saying how much they enjoyed it and that. And although I wasn't there, I have managed to buy 4 things from it. So, all good.
Yeah. And check out Legion's Lounge. I think this week the one from this week, they had Brian and Stacey on to do a recap. So they will definitely give a better recap of it than us who weren't there.
Yep, absolutely.
Wouldn't take a lot.
True. So I'd say, the top 3 Legion's rated cons, I guess, are that one, CarverCon, MesquiCon, although that MesquiCon is more broad. It has more than just Legions. And Legion's Con, obviously, as well. So that's still East Side. So, and then you've got the West Coast meetup, which is up in, was it Portland this year? In Oregon?
No, the West Coast one's normally in California. And then they got the Pacific Northwest one. Which,
the Pacific Northwest
Blake has
one.
started up in
That's
Portland.
the one in Portland, is it? Yeah. Okay. Now can we do Cosmic Legions?
I guess.
I mean, it's just a matter of you going on mute, Rich.
That'll please you, John. Okay, I'll do it.
I mean, we can chat a little bit after each section so that,
Yeah, no,
It gives me a break if we chat a bit, or you two chat a bit.
Okay, we'll do the chat and you do the reading, man. How about that?
Perfect.
I'll just nod in agreement. Data debrief 619.26. Agent the Cirrus. Access restricted. Agent the Blade. Topic: Mission at Messos. Alert: erasure of this message upon receipt is required per Status 18 regulations. Compliance is compulsory. You are to travel to Messos. I await you here at Acadian Prime. The expo begins in 2 cycles. This is our moment. We've confirmed your report. Hunters from Havalkatar are on their way here, as are others. This is not a concern of the Mortal Thorn. The one they hunt is. We wish an audience with this Olek Thygar. He will prove useful. This is as I have seen. Our forces have been quietly making their way to the 3rd, but our movements have not gone unnoticed. The Protectorate has ordered a marshalling of security forces. The first Guardian units arrived at Damaskar today. More are coming. Their orders are to cut back any thorns they uncover. Be careful when you arrive. Dark protocols are in effect. The Spear of Zol has also made their presence known. The Crusader Command is out in force. They sent Endymion and the 26th. This may prove useful to us. Their presence will keep the Protectorate Guardians on edge. Any violence from either side will be met by the Spear. We will use this. We've received word that the presentation on the latest generation of ACUs is the premiere session at the Expo. Much of that interest is on Dr. Jajari. This will be his first time outside of the Institute since the start of development of his generation of ACUs. He will be targeted by many interested parties. The Mortal Thorn is one of those parties. His work cannot be allowed to fall into the wrong hands. We will prevent that by any means. This is as I have seen. I await your arrival. Poison blood shall flow no more. See. End report. Alert. Erasure of this message upon receipt is required per Status 18 regulations. Compliance is compulsory. This message will be deleted.
Right, so this one is from it's kind of came out around the time of the Saint Demian reveal.
Yes.
And it kind of gives us a little introduction to him, and also talks about this expo, which we're going to go on to next. But anything interesting you found here, Rich?
Just the mention of the CRS. Obviously, we're going to see her, I presume, at some point in the future. I thought we might get her in this wave, but obviously she's a bigger character that they're saving for book 2 or whatever.
As I was reading that before this, I thought, oh yeah, we didn't get her.
Yeah, true. Or she could even be another drop like Saint Demian at some point in the future.
Yeah,
who knows?
Or maybe could be the mystery drop at Legion's Con.
Oh, at Legion's Con.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And ACUs, obviously, we know what they are now. Yep. They're the robot dudes. We wouldn't have known that if we'd read this when it came out first. Right, do we want to go on then to
Let's do it.
the news drop about the Interorbital Exposition 26?
Easy to say.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Interorbital Exposition 26 arrives in Mesos, CP Newsfeed, 708.26. Interorbital Exposition 26 brings the promise of great cycles ahead and a long-awaited chance at redemption. Submitted by Tars Wal. Reporting from Damaskar, Acadian Prime, Mesos. Acadian Prime is the place to be right now as Interorbital Expedition 26 comes to the city of Damaskar, bringing with it the promise of new technologies that could help shape the future of Cosmerium. Taking place along Acadian Prime's luminescence coast, Interorbital Expedition 26 is shaping up to be the most impressive expo to date, and the promises from the Expo 26 Planning Committee are almost too outlandish to believe, until you see what they have built here in Damaskar. The layout and scope of Expo 26 exceeds what the committee has attempted in previous installations, and this year's event nearly doubles the preceding Expo. Of course, it's not only the size of the Expo 26 that has all of Cosmerium excited, it is the promise of the new advancements and technologies that will be showcased here. There is no news that has gained more attention leading into Expo 26 than the surprise announcement of this year's chief orator, Dr. Vix Zajari of the Zajari Institute for Advanced Cybernetic Applications. This is a bit of a homecoming for Dr. Zajari as he first unveiled his renowned ACU technology at an expo many cycles ago. Of course, the Zajari Institute's fortunes have changed dramatically since the first presentation. The horrific failure of the second generation of ACUs and the resulting Necroticon epidemic have cast a long shadow over the Zajari Institute and their work. That failure sent the founder into self-imposed exile, and we have heard nothing from the Zajari Institute in many cycles. What we have now learned is that Dr. Zajari was working tirelessly during this second period on the third generation of ACU technology, which has been dubbed ACU-3. These units, and the promise of fully autonomous decision-making capabilities, would absolutely put the failure of the ACU-2s firmly in the past. Adding to the excitement surrounding this premiere presentation is the announcement that Dr. Zajari himself will be leading the discussion and travelling to the Interorbital Exposition 26 to be in person for the event. This alone is showing the incredible importance of this presentation, and reserved seating for the premiere session was claimed in moments. Overflow audiences are being accommodated in the central pavilion for those who were unable to secure placement in the main presentation hall. Despite all the excitement surrounding Expo 26 and the Zajari Institute presentation, there is also an undercurrent of concern being expressed by some of the Expo attendees regarding possible acts of aggression by a group known as the Mortal Thorn. Additional Protectorate Guardians have been deployed all across Damaskar adding to the already sizable permanent presence on Acadian Prime. The head of the Guardian's Damaskar unit, Sergeant Brax Cryot, has assured the Expo Committee and all attendees that safety is the highest priority and that any potential Mortal Thorn activity will be met by extremely rapid response by Guardian forces. It should be noted that, in addition to the seemingly ubiquitous presence of the Guardians, the Spear of Zol has also made themselves known in Damaskar. This adds to the security forces present to ensure that the Interorbital Exposition 26 is a safe and exciting adventure for all who choose to visit Acadian Prime for this once-in-a-ring cycle event. Expo 26 begins this evening with opening ceremonies. The future of Cosmerium is now at Interorbital Exposition 26.
Right, so very very full of kind of info about this expo. Sets the scene, and you kind of get introduced to a lot of the characters that we got revealed in the wave. Obviously the Legion Builder, the Protectorate Guardians, mentioned in the previous bit as well, but the Spear of Zol, so that's General Hanora and Saint Damian, so they're kind of I would just say super powered Protectorate people almost.
Yeah.
Kind of almost superhero-y.
Definitely got something going on, haven't they, that's more than normal humans, or they're just driven by their, what's the word? Yes, Rich.
Hoovens, not humans.
Sorry.
Hoovens.
Normal Hoovens.
Cosmerium is human-free. It's Hoovens.
Not one comment on last week's episode about keep Cosmerium human-free, so I think you are rowing your own boat there on that one.
I'm fighting a losing battle, it's fair to say here.
I think there's only a few of you out there.
Yeah, for sure. This imp scale guy, so the Dr. Zajari, he's the kind of main he's the main guy at the expo, so he's going to be doing the presentation about the robots, the ACU3s. He'll hopefully be explaining the giant flathead screw in the middle of them and the importance of that. Yeah.
I want a spin-off Dark Tale of this where not like main lore sort of thing, but the robots just run amok.
Yeah.
And there's people being dismembered and all sorts of stuff. And it's like,
how would you say, a kind of a alternate history or something, an alternate universe?
With the sort of detail that I put in the first draft of that Christmas story that we did.
What did Marvel do on Disney Plus, those cartoons? What were they called?
Oh, the What If.
What If, yeah. There you go. So what if the robots went crazy? Yeah. What if AI took over the robots? It's a very contemporary topic, so,
It really is. Absolutely.
Be interesting. Right. Then we got, when I was looking at the figures again, I realized that below the figures on the Source Horseman is a whole story of the wave. So we'll do the story of the wave, and then we'll go through the bios of the figures, and that'll bring us all the lore for this week. So,
Third circle of Cosmerium, Bessos, is the largest and most populated of the 5 rings. Circle is not only the centre of Cosmerium geographically, it truly is the hub of Cosmerium's political, cultural, business and entertainment worlds. Every entity of importance in the universe has significant interests and investments in Bessos, and it is here where problems that have long been buried in Cosmerium are starting to rise to the surface. The Chaos agents known as the Mortal Thorn have made Messos the centre of their operation by using the planet of Acadian Prime as the staging ground for their coordinated strikes and propaganda campaign against the Ferox Protectorate. With every attack and each humiliation they heap upon the Ferox, they further undermine the authority of the last Chrono race and the Orion author gods whose will they enforce. As the Interorbital Exposition 26 comes to the capital of Acadian Prime, Damaskar, it brings exhibitions on the latest innovation and technologies with it. One of the key presentations scheduled for the expo is the official unveiling of the latest advances in autonomous construct units. The reclusive Dr. Zajari of the Zajari Institute has come out of his labs to finally unveil the third generation of ACUs and the promise of true autonomy and decision-making capabilities. The entire universe turns their eyes to Damaskar, and intelligence has been gathered that the Mortal Thorn plan to use the Expo and Dr. Zajari's high-profile demonstration to launch their biggest and boldest attack yet. Responding to the threat posed by the Mortal Thorn, the Protectorate have called for the immediate apprehension of any members or associates of this organisation, sending scores of highly trained Protectorate guardians to Acadian Prime. They are joined by a dangerous mix of mercenaries, bounty hunters, and others looking to make their name and their fortune by bringing down the Mortal Thorn. Adding to the turmoil brewing in Messos is the arrival of a new player in this unfolding situation, a violent escapee from the Tusk prison complex of Avalkatar. The facility's major Dormo V's, sends out a system-wide alert warning that a number of prisoners have escaped from Avalkatar after staging a revolt. Dormo's personal security force has been tracking the most dangerous of the escapees, an Abalex named Oleg Thygar, but they lost his trail in the densely populated sprawl of Messos. On a quest of revenge, Thygar threatens to add fuel to the volatile situation in the Third Circle as he seeks information and is willing to go through anything or anyone that stands in his way to get it. These disparate entities, the Chaos Agents of the Mortal Thorn, the assorted forces under the command of the Ferox Protectorate, and the escaped convict Thygar and his pursuers are all on a collision course in Messos. What results when these forces meet will create a chain reaction that could shatter the very foundation of the Five Circles, revealing what has long been hidden underneath the surface of Cosmerium.
So bringing the stories together.
Yes.
That's what I get from this. And that's kind of what we want, isn't it? To kind of circle things up a little bit, not have it kind of going, because that was a little bit the problem with the Ox Crew, but which I still think the Ox Crew, while awesome figures, I think that story will connect up eventually.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's a problem too, isn't it? When you got one wave or one big wave a year potentially, if three of them are set on Thraxon, which is out in the way and all this, that's 3 years of what seems like an out of the way little story sort of thing, doesn't it?
There's definitely something and some connection because his hologram had the ox and what's it called, the ship, didn't it? Yeah. So there was obviously something around the ship that was of importance to Oleg.
But you could almost jump between them, so like have a, like they done this one, Ox Crew Book 2, and then they go to
Meanwhile,
and then back to Ox Crew Book 3, and then back to Mortal Thorn 2 or something, and just do it that way, sort of thing. So,
develop the different parts of the story at the same time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it's a good idea that they pop this wave in now, story-wise, as well as the figures. I think last week was clear we liked the figures. But we will get our Ox Crew eventually.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
And the Ox Crew waves were cool, really cool waves with some really cool figures in, weren't they? It's just, as you say, it's now nice to have more of the story development on this side again, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Right, we get on to the bios then.
Name, Protectorate Guardians, Damaskar Unit, Race, Various, Affiliation, the Protectorate, Planet of Origin, Various. The Protectorate, led by the last of the Cronan races, enforce the will of the Orient Author Gods, and the Protectorate Guardians administer their rulings. Comprised of various units and speciality divisions, the Protectorate Guardians are the largest and most diverse martial force in all of Cosmerium. One of the longest standing permanent deployments of Guardians is in Messos on the planet of Acadian Prime. It is in that planet's capital of Damaskar where the 26th Interorbital Exposition is being held. It is also where the Chaos Agents of the Mortal Thorn are attempting to strike a blow against the Ferox leadership. Tasked with ensuring that the Expo is not compromised and that the Mortal Thorn are brought to justice for their crimes, the Protectorate Guardians bolster the ranks of the Damaskar units with additional personnel and equipment in order to overwhelm and apprehend their enemies.
So, I mean, what I take from this is that these guys are everywhere in Cosmerium. So if you were to turn up in Cosmerium anywhere, you'd probably come across some sort of a unit of these. Maybe not this Damaskar unit, but some kind of a unit.
I bet the Damaskar unit is the blue and coloured
Yeah.
one, and then another unit will be the red and whatever one, and they'll do it
Yeah.
that way, won't they?
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Name: Protectorate Seek and Strike Pack. The Protectorate Guardians are the largest and most diverse martial force in all of Cosmerium. They add to this diversity through the addition of mission-specific speciality equipment, some of which arrives at an Acadian Prime just in time for the Interorbital Expo 26 and the Guardians' mission to root out and apprehend the Mortal Thorn. Flight packs enable Guardians to fly above the crowd gathered for the Expo as they seek out the criminals threatening to disrupt the proceedings. Once their targets are identified, strike teams move in with enough heaven weaponry to stop any threat.
So I think it does what it says on the tin there then. Yeah, they're the drones that kind
Wings
of
and
come in
rocket
and
launchers.
yeah. All right, I think we can move on to the ACU threes then, yeah.
Figures in the line, in the wave, the robots. Whoop whoop. Right. Whoop whoop. Name: ACU 3 Autocons, Autonomous Construction Units, 3rd generation. Race: not applicable. Construct: affiliation: unaffiliated citizens of Cosmerium. Planet of origin: Tarson 7, at the Zajari Institute for Advanced Cybernetics Applications. Autonomous Construct Units, or ACUs, are found throughout all of Cosmerium. The first generation of ACUs were simple constructs created to perform specific tasks and labour-centric functions, while the second generation of ACUs were designed to meld with organic materials, an approach which had remarkable but horrific results. As the 26th Interorbital Exposition approaches, all of Cosmerium is excited for the unveiling of the third generation of ACUs. Promised to boast fully autonomous decision-making capabilities, these constructs are the life's work of reclusive Dr. Zajari. The ACU-3s have the potential to change Cosmerium, and many parties are interested in a piece of this new technology, including the Zajari Institute's primary shareholders, the Ferox Protectorate.
There we go. Mention of the Ferox there at the end.
Yes.
I think that's the most exciting thing about the storylines with this wave. I think it's talking about the Ferox. It's like they're going to be a mysterious race. I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Aren't those skulls that we got initially
something to do with that,
them,
aren't
yeah.
They were a Cronan race, weren't they? But
Yeah,
they didn't say
yeah.
whether they were the Ferox or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we're assuming that it might be them or similar.
And this isn't Olek one of the Cronan races as well? Or
Yeah.
he's a bit mysterious
'cause he
as well,
has
isn't he? We don't
They
know
think
for
he might
sure.
be, yeah.
Yeah. Name: Protectorate ACU Mission Pack. As the primary benefactor of the Zajari Institute's development of the new generation of ACUs, the Protectorate were eager to see their investment repaid with the autonomous construct units specifically built to assist in their missions. While the head of the Institute, Dr. Zajari himself, is less than keen on his work being put to militaristic use by the Protectorate, he had no choice but to accept their funding as he worked to rebuild his reputation after the second generation of ACUs was pulled offline. Having to supply the Protectorate with these new autonomous soldiers is the cost of having taken the funding. The first deployment of the Protectorate ACU-3s is slated to coincide with the reveal of the new technology at the Interorbital Exposition on Acadian Prime, just in time for the Guardians to turn their attention to the apprehension of the Chaos agents in the Mortal Thorn.
Yeah, so I'm guessing these ACUs, they could be used for all sorts of stuff. So this is them being, in the Protectorate, but you could maybe have even domestic versions of them. I don't know how that would work, but
Yeah, they feel a bit
anything
like
from
the droids, don't they, in Star Wars?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
or you have them in working in companies and
C3 units or whatever they're called, like C3PO and all those.
Roll on the 3D parts makers making trays, mops, all that sort of stuff. It's like, kit out your home droid here.
There you go, yeah. People are going to get equivalent of villages in Cosmerium before they get them in Mythos.
Yeah.
Who is the Cosmerium's butcher and the Cosmerium's baker?
I'm looking forward to the little soft goods chef hat.
Chef's hat.
Yeah, there we go.
It's got to be a metal one, no?
Name: Dr. Thix Zajari, head of the Zajari Institute for Advanced Cybernetics Applications. Race: Galagonian. Affiliation: unaffiliated citizens of Cosmerium. Planet of origin: Tarson 7. Considered the universe's top mind in the subject of autonomous cybernetic applications, Dr. Zix Zajari leads the institute that bears his name. Creator of the first generation of ACUs, Dr. Zajari was vocal in his opposition to the advances made for the second generation of his technology and the choices that led to the Necroticon epidemic. Retreating to his labs after the second generation of ACU tech was banned across all 5 rings, Dr. Zajari became a recluse, working tirelessly on the third generation of autonomous construct units in his belief that they would restore the good name of his institute. Dr. Zajari has emerged from his isolation, making incredible promises on the ACU-3s. Those promises have allowed him to be named the premier orator at Interorbital Expo 26, but it has also made him the target for individuals who wish to steal his technology for their own schemes.
I think a big thing here is that these ACU2s are a bad bunch, and we see in a future figure here just why.
I would suggest they're misunderstood, because Brain is lovely.
Yes,
he looks cute.
Yeah, I don't think they're a bad bunch. I think they were the victims, is what they're trying to get across.
Yeah, and it links him back to the expo. So yeah.
Name: Brainer, Necroticon. Race: original, various, current, Necroticon. Affiliation: Mortal Thorn. Planet of origin: various. The second generation of autonomous cybernetics technology aimed to blend the mechanics of construct units with organic forms. Much different than simple cybernetic enhancements, the ACU-2 technology was intended to bring life to machinery. Instead, it brought a form of suspended death to all it touched. Necroticon is the name that was given to the unexpected creations that resulted from the ACU-2 experiments, creating organic data conduits that were neither alive nor dead. The integration of these cybernetics, coupled with an injection extracted from cephalocyte genetic materials to ensure the organic bodies did not reject the new additions, resulted in an unexpected form of suspended existence for the host bodies. While the bodies of the Necroticon look to have decayed, physically they are healthier than ever, unlike cephalocytes who slowly consume and destroy their host bodies. Other than their outward appearance, these creatures do not seem to be aging in any measurable way. While the ACU technology has been banned across all 5 circles, and officially this tech is no longer in use, there are whispers of colonies of Necroticons being maintained in secret locations across Cosmerium. Whoever is in charge of these colonies, the intelligence they would have access to thanks to Necroticon's data capabilities is staggering to consider. The very first Necroticon, an individual that has been named Brainer, was liberated by the Mortal Thorn and has since become an important part of the data gathering and analysis efforts of this clandestine organisation.
So how many figures are in a colony, Rich?
Oh, at least 50. I'll do Jeremy's work for him.
It's a tough ask, huh?
There'll be at least 3 or 4 in my colony.
Yeah, I think that's little small colony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really cool story.
I can't help but think, well, if Brainer was the first one, surely somebody looked at that and went, "Oh no, cancel it, cancel the whole program straight away now." But no, they carried on for a bit.
So imagine the other ones; they might even be more horrific looking.
Yeah.
So can only imagine.
That's missing jaws and all sorts.
Yeah, totally.
Tentacles.
Some third-party parts person just make some tentacles for Rich.
Please
to
make some
stick on his
tentacle hands.
Necroticon.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
Right, next one.
Name: Archgeneral Hanora. Race: Huvanoid. Affiliation: Spear of Zol. Planet of origin: Acadian Prime. A high-ranking soldier in the Spear of Zol, it is said that Archgeneral Hanora was born with a sword in her hand and not an ounce of fear in her body. In the years since her birth, that sword has not left her grip, and fear has stayed absent from her heart as she faithfully serves the Orient Author gods. The daughter of St. Demian of the Crusaded Command, Hanora is as committed to the cause of the Spear of Zol as her father is. In truth, many say she is even more unforgiving than Demian when it comes to dealing with those who she deems to blaspheme the teachings of the Orient gods. Her current target is an agent of the Mortal Thorn who has reported recently landed on Acadian Prime. Hanora dons her armour and unsheathes her sword as she goes hunting for the Chaos Agent, codename The Blade.
Yeah, so these two bios here, now this one and the next one are linked. Next one's obviously the Blade.
It feels a little bit like the Blade doesn't have long left, doesn't it? From
Have you seen him? He'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because he's looking cool. She sounds badass and lethal.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, these are the, almost superhero-like we mentioned before, and that's
true,
I think, how they're supposed to come across. So he might have to use all his talents to get out of the way. Well, let's hear about him and see what talents he might actually have.
Name: Kyoji Roon. The Blade. Race: Huvanoid. Affiliation: Mortal Thorn. Planet of origin: Aetherius. The Chaos Agents of the Mortal Thorn exist in the shadows. They quietly and strategically strike out from the darkness to further their agenda, and yet there are times when secrecy must be abandoned in favour of a more direct approach. It is for these missions that the Thorn calls upon the agent known as The Blade, Kyoji Roon. Armed with a pair of Magmari blades, Kyoji Roon ruthlessly cuts through any obstacles that stand in the way of the Mortal Thorn's goals. He's summoned to Arcadian Prime as part of the Mortal Thorn's plans to disrupt the Interorbital Expo and humiliate the Ferox Protectorate. As Kyoji moves about Damaskar on his mission, he's targeted by the Spear of Zol and Archgeneral Hanora, who is determined to bring him and his conspirators to justice. While the Spear of Zol are formidable enemies, Kyoji Roon is unafraid, for this is all as the Mortal Thorn's seeress had seen. Everything that Kyoji Roon does is according to a grand plan. If something unexpected does happen, he knows that his twin Magmari blades are always ready.
Right, so I think hard to tell what's going to happen there.
If the CRS turns out to be a fraud, though, he's in all sorts of trouble.
Well, it just dawned on me as I was reading it. I wonder if the CRS is a grey, one of the greys, because didn't they have the they had that neural network, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's one of them, and she's using that neural network to sort of pinpoint what's going on across the universe and across the rings of Cosmere.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Boring. Let's get a new alien race in, but yeah, it makes sense.
Well, there are hints that there are other. Yeah, there are hints, aren't there, that there are other types that use that neural network. The Greys are just one of them. I forget that, isn't it? Like the old ancient races, a lot of that do it.
Okay.
But
I'll accept that. That's fine.
I'm sure that I can't remember. I'd have to go back and read the other stories. But
one other thing here is it's mentioned that she wants to bring him to justice. So what does that mean? Does she? So she maybe doesn't want to kill him as such, but maybe bring him.
I think.
Oh, you think justice is?
Yeah, I think the Spear of Zol just slaughter anyone that gets in the way. That they scheme as.
They get it. You get a spear all in the head, and that's your justice.
Yeah. They're the Templars of the Cosmerium, aren't they? Really?
Right. So there's no judge and jury.
Yeah.
It's just an executioner.
That's it. Yeah.
Or he murdered a brother, so she's out for revenge. So that's what this is. It's a personal vendetta.
Maybe. Well, speaking of even more brutal people than the ones we've just talked about, we have the two bounty hunter types coming up next.
The Bleeders Guild, my favourite.
The Bleeders Guild
so far. Name: Zortex. Race: Medulix. Affiliation: the Bleeders Guild. Planet of origin: Ventritar. With a unique anatomy of external organs and a physiology that allows them to harness the electrical energies of their own nervous systems, members of the Medulix species are known as the greatest healers in Cosmerium. Then there is Zortex. Whilst most Medulix use their skills to help others, the same abilities that allow this race to be so effective in healing arts can also be used to inflict incredible pain. Zortex discovered these abilities at a young age and decided to use them to further his own selfish ambitions. Over the years, he has worked as hired muscle, as a bounty hunter, interrogator, and even as an assassin. He comes to Acadian Prime and the Interorbital Expo along with his partner in crime, Globulon Krun, to retrieve a high-profile target, the cybernetics genius, Dr. Zajari. Hired by a wealthy employer to produce results and not ask questions, Zortex sets a trap and waits for his prey to fall into it.
So those two are not going to look too conspicuous coming through the door, are they?
They do appear to have sent their two most brightly coloured members of the Bleeders Guild, don't they, to this mission?
Just blend in with the crowd here. Nobody will know.
Unless book 2 shows that they're the distraction. So everyone's focused on those two big, bright guys, and then a sneaky little thing grows in and grabs Zajiri and disappears.
Yeah, that sounds plausible. I think we mentioned a little bit last week, but yeah, these are kind of a good species, and this guy has turned bad. Used his powers for evil. Classic storyline there.
Yeah. Jeremy, on the after show party, just referred to him as just an a-hole.
Yeah.
The rest of his species are lovely people. He's just an a-hole.
Giving us all a bad name, mate.
Yeah.
and
then hired by a wealthy employer. I guess it'd be nice to find out eventually who that is.
Yeah. I feel like it's the second suggestion of a wealthy person backing somebody, isn't it? And I think we've had something similar with one of the other bits of Cosmerium as well. So somebody trying to pull strings, maybe. In the universe.
It's the scene at the end of the episode 1 of a series where you just see the back of a chair and he's talking to the guy, and it doesn't reveal, and you have to come back next time to figure out who that is. And maybe then it just completely ignores that until the last episode of the series, and then you see who the wealthy benefactor is or whatever.
Exactly. Name: Globulon Krun. Race: Batesian. Affiliation: the Bleeders Guild. Planet of origin: Maya. The Batesian species is one of the most interesting in all of Cosmerium. Born without any defining traits of their own, the slime-like Batesians absorb anything that they come into contact with. This is true in the physical sense, and a Batesian can often be found with random items seemingly floating within their glutinous bodies. However, this phenomenon also goes beyond physical items, and it is commonly known that a Batesian's personality is a direct result of those whom they come in contact with. Unfortunately for Globulon Crun, he met a criminal named Zortex at a young age and has been by his side ever since. The association has not been a good thing for Globulon's demeanour, as he has absorbed all of Zortex's worst qualities. Whilst there is a chance Globulon could have been redeemed had he been separated from Zortex after they had first met, the negative effects of their connection have grown over time. Batesians not only absorbed the qualities of their company, but that influence is multiplied the longer they remain together. Globulon Crun is now as irredeemable as his partner in crime. Globulon and Zortex have partnered together in all kinds of schemes during the many cycles that they have travelled together. They arrive on Acadian Prime to complete a contract to apprehend the reclusive cybernetics expert, Dr. Zajari. As they zero in on their target, they suddenly find themselves facing off against other parties interested in securing the good doctor, including the Chaos Agents of the Mortal Thorn. Poor old Globulon. He's a victim as much as anything, I feel. A victim of circumstance.
He is a victim that likes wearing the skull of somebody that he's consumed, though. So
yeah. But you know, it's his environment that's made him like that, not his not the way he actually is.
And do you think we might get an exclusive version of Globulon with just Zortex absorbed into him?
That's when they fall out.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And Rich, if your Globulon spends too much time hanging out with you, he's just going to end up buying so many figures.
He'll become obsessed with customs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. So that's really cool bios there. Lots of story, lots of scene setting for Cosmerium. So loving all that. And it kind of enhances this wave. Does reading the lore make you want any of the characters anymore?
I kind of already wanted all of them and some of them multiple times. I think it's a really, really great wave. And
you're probably the wrong person to ask that one too.
Yeah,
Rich,
possibly, yeah.
Anything that...
It just confirms to me what I was already thinking, that I want, 3 or 4 brainers. Countless robots.
The robots.
Yeah, you can just do so much stuff with them.
This
you
might
can't
be
get you can't get Hanora now without getting Kyoji Roon.
Yes. Yeah. I'll put his mask on his head so that we don't see the human face. And then I'll put her mask on her head, and then there's no humans in my display. There's just...
You were talking about buying like the cybernetic samurai heads. I think you could easily stick one of them on him and call that your version of him, Yeah, I think I will. We'll do that. Get it painted similar colours, maybe. The blue perhaps would be quite cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice, actually.
Streaks of red in it, thinking about it, to match his blades.
I do think he's going to be the most popular.
My money, Mal. So spending my money.
I do think he's going to be the most popular figure in the wave, or almost one.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if I look on Insta, sorry, you go for it.
I was just saying, just the fact he comes with 2 Hooven heads means you can take one of those heads or a couple of those heads and use them in mythics as well. It just
lots of parts you could
demand.
Yeah, lots of parts you could use on a mythic samurai as well. Really, isn't there? Bits because they're kind of armored up anyway, so you could mix and use it with the Eastern armor of Monkey King or what's the darker armor one? The green fella.
Yoshani.
Couldn't you? You could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I look on Instagram here, for example, Brainer, Hanora, they all have around 1,000 likes on the Horseman's thing. He has 2,200.
Whoa.
Zortex has just over 1,000, and then Globulon has 2,500. But I mean, he stands out in the picture.
I think Globulon and Kyoji Roon are looking like the popular ones, aren't they?
But Kyoji Roon is like half the price of Globulon, so they're going to sell more of him.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure.
pretty
People
clear.
seem to really love the big figures, though. I know when they revealed the last Mythics wave, the G-Con wave, and everybody went crazy over the Crab Dude, who's amazing. But you're probably going to want one of him. But I think everybody wants one of him rather than, I just pick and choose figures from the wave.
Yeah, but you won't have, there will be somebody that'll buy 10 of Kyoji Roon because they'll want, to use them to kind of build a little crew and parts and all that kind of stuff. Right. Sounds good. I have a small bit of work to do there, Mal. 1 or 2.
Sorry.
2 lines. No worries. Oh, no, of course I'm not complaining. But yeah, that's Cosmic Legions lore. We have a bit of Mythic Legions lore from the left over from the Legions Con figures, and we'll see when we get to that. Plenty of time between now and Legions Con. We'll slot it in there somewhere, but we kind of didn't want to get it to get lost in this one with the Cosmic Legion stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So next week. I finally got the Joe Fest Patreon episode out, Rich. I almost forgot about it.
I saw it, yeah. I saw it.
I was like, did I publish that? I was like, no. Oops.
And how are you boys getting on with your homework for the next Patreon episode?
I have watched one of your movies and it was truly terrible. So that's going to be fun to talk about. I won't say which one.
I think they might all fall into that category, to be honest, but I love them.
I don't think so.
Oh no, I have 2 more to suffer through. No. Yeah, we're doing a Patreon episode probably end of August where we talk about 3 of our favorite movies, and the other ones have to have watched them as well. So they don't necessarily have to be the best movies, probably aren't the best movies, but favorites, ones that we would go back to again and again, be it nostalgia, be it just whatever. Yeah.
And also available easily on streaming services.
Yes.
The amount that came off my list because I couldn't find them anywhere without paying for it. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah. I was never paying for this yoke that I had to watch. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
These were the first 2 I suggested.
Good luck.
Stay safe out there, everybody. Remember, if you're a member of the Mortal Thorn and you're on Acadian Prime and you see just like a shadow as somebody flies over you, it's probably General Hanora come chop your head off. So